Hi and welcome to Student Record Database System developed in Python. So let me show you guys how this works. Right here I have information of a student called Telly, and we can also click on any of these and get the details of another student, and that's Kingsley, and Kingsley can even be printed right on the screen. There we go. Okay, so enter the details of Kingsley to find the ranking of Kingsley, and right underneath here the transcript for Kingsley Moore right there. So we can also display, and we can delete if we want, search or update. Okay, we can exit, and all of this information are automatically saved on the database itself. So let me show you guys the database and you see all of the above information. This is the database. There's nothing right there. That's the SQLite database, and this is the student record. Drag the student record, drop it in there, and we can then browse the data. There we go. And those are the details of Kingsley Moore. I think Telly's right here, that's that of Telly, and so on. All of those information that you enter onto the system is automatically saved straight into the database. And just before then, if you need this very code, but just make sure you are a member of the channel. To be a member of the channel, all you have to do is to pay £4.99 per month to be a member of the channel, and I'll be very happy to forward this code to you if you want, of which you can do whatever you like with it. So let's go to Python now and start a new project. Hi and welcome to Python tutorial of a student record database system. I'm going to start by importing as follows. There we go. I will now define the following. Let me define my class there. So it's going to be students, let's say student record database system. Student record database system. I'm not going to put management. That's going to be the name. Now the next thing I want to do is to define the following, just to round up the form itself. And right there I'm just going to round up this form there. So let's save this student record. So let's copy this. I'm just going to save it straight onto my folder that I've created. Save as. Let's look for student record. Student record database here. There we go. And there. So that is the system itself. Student record database system, right? Okay, click on save. If I run it now, what you guys will just see is just a big screen. That's it there. Nothing is happening. Now the next thing I would like to do is to declare the following variables. So right underneath here, let's declare as follows. And I'm going to need more anyway, so let's declare say that's will be for course code, mass, and so on. So let's declare in here course code. Then I will have one here for mass, right, and another one for maybe English. Okay. I need 8 of those anyway for the unit studies. Then let's say biology. Okay, I need a couple more, so I'm going to speed that up. This is how the variables I intend to use looks like. The next thing I would like to do now is let me create my frames let's just break that apart. Just want to enter frames there. That is like a comment, right? So the frames is going to be somewhere inside this my comments, and underneath here maybe I'll create let's say a widget in here. Okay, let's start with the frames first. The first one, I'm going to call that main frame, and as for my main frame, it's going to be the widget for that is going to be called frame, and that frame is going to be right inside self dot root, comma, and the border is going to be, I'm going to call that candidate blue as well. The color is going to be candidate blue as well. There we go. Close that. Now let's say main frame dot read, enter parentheses. Now that that is done, the next thing I would like to do is, let me declare, I'm going to declare, create another frame, because you won't see this frame, but that's the frame, that's the main frame that is surrounding the system, the candidate blue. Now this frame, you might as well copy it. There's going to be other frames inside it, so the frame that will be inside this main frame will be as follows. We'll call that data frame. Okay, data frame, and the other one, so let's say park. I want it parked. Park is going to be, let's say side equals top. Alright, that's number, let me call it 1 and 1, and this, let's finish with this first. So this is going to be inside main frame. Copy this, paste it right inside main frame. Okay, the next thing is, let's set border for it. Let's set the border BG or BD equals 1, comma, and what about width? Width equals 1300. Height is going to be, let's make the height about 400, right? And I'll get it packed. Let's say equals 20. Okay, packed equals 20, and if pack is 20, let's say horizontal, oh, this is horizontal pack, and let's horizontal pad is 20. Okay, vertical pad, I'm going to make that 20 as well. Okay, let's raise it then. Let's come here, relief, that is going to be equals rigid, comma. That's my first one. I'm going to copy this, and this will be the second one. The second one will be 2. Let's say 1 and 2, and this is going to be bottom. There we go. Let's run it and see how it looks like. There's got to be a comma here, comma, and a comma here. Let's see. Alright, maybe I should change the color for one. Let's change this color to powder blue so that we know they are there, both there. Right, so run it now and see how it looks like. We have an error. Let's see what's the error. Oh, double G, that's wrong. I only need 1 G. Okay, now run it again. There we go. You see the first frame up here and the second one here. Right, that is fine. Okay, close that. close this as well. Okay, I'm now going to just speed that up. Let's copy it and create some more frames in there. Then I'll get back to you guys as soon as I'm done. Okay guys, this is how the frames looks like now. So let's run it and you guys see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to save it first though. Alright, now that's how the frames looks like. Actually, I'm going to need one more frame here, or I can just squeeze everything in here. So let's close that first. But there's something I need to show to you guys. I think I like this frame to have title there. So let's change this frame entirely. I'm going to change it to a label frame. Okay, this is how it looks now. And okay, let's just run it and see. And you guys see what I'm talking about there. But there's one thing I like to do. You see these frames here, I would like it to actually display titles. So let's come right here. You see here, instead of just frame, I'm going to change that to label frame. Okay, in that case, let's come down here. I'm going to press enter and let's say font equals. I'm going to make that area. And let's enter a comma there. And let's assume the size of the font is going to be approximately 20 there. And it's going to be bold as well. Then here I'm going to enter a comma. Let's say text equals student details. Right, close that and close that. Right, now let's see how it's gonna look like. Alright, you see that guys, the default text is black. Maybe that might be too big. Maybe I should make it about, let's do 418. So I might as well just copy this and come to the right one and change this to label, and the code copied, let's just paste that in here, and this one is going to be student result or unit result or score. Oh yeah, okay, units, let's say grades. Right, let's come right here and see how that's gonna look like. Whoa, we have two of those, get rid of one. Okay, try that again. Alright, unit grade, student details. Okay, now the next thing I like to do is, you see this very button, that's where my button is going to be, but at the same time I would like to have a list box somewhere. So let's come down here. I'm going to copy that because I call it button. Then I'm going to have another one that I will call list frame. So let's get rid of this button and change that to list frame, and this one is going to be list frame as well. Now this will be on top. Let's make that top, and that's it. This is going to, I'm going to have the buttons in here, so I'm going to make that for about 40, and let's make this 100. Okay, come right up here, run it and see. There we go, and the buttons are going to be down here. Okay, it's looking good so far. Close that. Now the next widget here is going to be my let's call that. If you look up here, I have student ID, names, and so on. So the first one, let's go for right underneath here. I'm going to call that LBL student. Let's say the student ID equals label, and this label is going to be right inside this. Yeah, paste that there. This size, the size and data on this label, let's put a comma there, paste that in there. Maybe we'll make this about 14, and the text content on it is going to be student ID. Student ID. And what else do we want? Okay, for now I'm going to close that. And then student ID is going to be on row. Okay, let's say grid equals row equals 0, comma, column equals 0 as well. Close that. Oh, let's correct this wrong spelling there. Yeah. And okay, the next thing is let me add. Okay, I'm just going to add this padding to it. So let's come right here, copy that, put a comma there, paste. And I'm going to make that. Okay, let's leave it as 20 and see how it's going to look like. Then we take it from there, and I'm going to say strictly equals west right there. Get rid of the L. There we go. And let's run it and see how it's going to look like with the 20 padding. I don't like it. Okay, and you see the back color there. All right, this is not good enough because this is goes white. So I might as well just copy this goes white, paste that there, get rid of 20, let's make it 22. Now come right here and try it out again. Okay, not too bad. Okay, now one other thing we want to do is let's copy this. We're going to use this for another type of widget. Paste that in there. This is going to now become txt, and this is going to become entry. Okay, entry. Get rid of this. No, let's change this to variable, and the variable in this case is going to be student ID. There we go. Copy that. That's going to be my variable. I'm going to paste that right there. Okay, and get rid of this. Change this one to 1. Okay, because it's going to be onto the right and to the right side of this label. Let's run it and see how that's going to look like. No, let's see what's the error. Okay, get rid of those. Try it one more time. There we go. Look at that. That's the widget there. Okay, now I'm going to need another one. The other one is going to be for mathematics. Copy that, paste. So if this is now going to be row, okay, column 2, and this will be column 3, and this is change that around. Okay. And the data here is going to be math. Run. Okay, we're getting somewhere. That's fine. That's good. We may have to increase the width though, but for now, the next one, let's see the next one. We can copy all of this, and that's going to be number 2. Then we just change the names around. Okay, this is going to be, if this is 1, all of this will be 1, 1, 1, and 1 there. Okay, and this is going to be student name. That's going to be first name. First name, and change the rest to first name. We'll just speed that up. First name. Now I don't think that's first name. That should actually be course code. Alright, so let's just speed it up anyway. There we go. I'll just speed that up now. Have a good look at the lines of code for all of the widgets. Let's take it from the top here, bring it down a little bit here, and here my course code though, so I'm going to take it down. Okay, the codes are similar, so you shouldn't have any problem with that. Yeah, let's keep going there. Alright, let's run it and you guys see what I'm talking about. Alright, we have an error here. Let's see what might that be. And here is supposed to be 7. Right. Okay, then run it now. Let's see. There. So all that is left for me now is to align these to make sure it's of the same size. So let's add a width to it. Let's come into the text box. Okay, I'm going to start with just one text box, and I would then take it from there. Okay, we copy this and just let's paste it where we have the text box, and I'm going to change that to about, let's go for maybe 28, and this will be about maybe 26. Copy it across and see how it's going to look like, and let's run it now. Okay, that's not too bad. So it's at least cover up the other side, and the other thing is okay, let's just speed this up for all of the text box, then I will get back to you guys as soon as I'm done with the text box. Right, okay, the width of every single text box has been increased. Okay, you can see that it's all 28 now. Alright, so let's run it and see how that's gonna look like. There we go. Alright, that's not too bad. That's good. So what else do I want? I can now move this up. So let's reduce this a little bit. Or one thing first, let's come right down here. So right here, I'm just gonna enter. Yeah, that should give me a space in there. Let's run it and see. Yeah, that has left a little bit of space there. Okay, let's add space here as well. come right to the frame. Where is the frame? There we go. That's the frame there. Space, and here space. Okay, that's like next line. Okay, that's fine. Now what do we do? Okay, there seems to be a space in here, which is, that's not good enough. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is, first thing first, let's reduce the size of this. This is about 400. I'm gonna make it maybe 200. In that case, I'm gonna make this 200 as well. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, then we need to add space here and add maybe a text here, then increase this. No, increase this one. Okay, let me come here and just increase this very one. Yeah, increase this to about 200. Yeah, make this maybe 60, and let's run and see. Okay, we may have to get rid of 60 here. Leave that as it was. 40. Alright, that's fine. Okay, let's add a widget here. Okay, so let's add a widget there, like I said. So I'm going to just make that there. That would be the for the unit grades. So I'm going to call that unit grades. There we go. Right. Okay, let's run it and see how that's going to look like. There we go. Right, that's not too bad. And I would like to be able to see these as well. So let's come right here and just, that was supposed to be the one right at the top. Yeah. Okay, change that to about 190 and see how that's gonna look like. Okay, let's go for 180. Alright, that's fine. So I'm going to now add, let's add a list box here, and here we add buttons. Okay, let's speed this up and just add a list box here. So come right in here, and there we go. That should take care of my list box. Have a good look at it. And there's also a scroll bar there, so let's run it and see. There, that's the list box. Now let's take care of a button. I'm gonna copy this, paste, and just enter a button here. Right. Okay, so let's sort out these buttons. Come down here, and right here we're gonna have to speed that up and here are my buttons from here down here. Those are the buttons. Because the design time is actually taking too long. Right, now we can start with the coding. That's how the buttons look like. Right now they all do nothing. Okay, let's add some space here. So I'm going to exit out and just add padding here, and one here as well. Okay, now the next thing is, let's run it and see how it looks like first, then we can start work with function. Right, you see that? That's much better. Okay, let's work on this. Come right down here. I'm going to write a function here. Let's break this apart. Function. So all of my functions will be right in here. And the first function is going to be for exit. And right there, that's my exit function. And I'm going to call this exit function inside the button exit. So let's come right down. Say comma, command equals exit. So let's run it and see. Call that. So that is fine. The other thing I would like to do now is, let's take care of clear. Okay, and these are the ones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be to do with database. So let's take care of clear. Yeah, clear. Shall we call it clear or reset? Clear. Okay, that's fine. And let's come up here, another function. So I'm gonna call that function clear. So right here, and the whole idea is to clear all of this. Okay, right underneath here, enter those, and this is going to be dot set equals there. That. So I'm going to have to repeat that for the rest, but first thing first, let's get them all indented format. Where is indent? There we go. I think. Yeah. All right. Just copy this and just paste it here. Do the same thing for this, and so on. So let's speed that up. Okay, the next thing is for us to call this clear function. We need to call it inside button clear. Come right here, button clear. So let's just say comma, command equals clear. There. So let's try that out and just enter whatever in there. Right. Okay. And let's see. Okay, that's fine. And what about this? Okay, what is the, let's come up here. That is supposed to be what? Alright, there is no variable for that. Okay, we can create a variable for the grading system. So let's say our variable is going to be grade or whatever. So copy that and just call it grade. And paste that right here. And it's going to be known as grade. Yeah. So we'll add that to it. Come up here. That's for grade. Copy, paste, and get the grade itself. Declare a variable for grade. Copy string variable, dump it there. So grade is also covered. Right. Now maybe we should do some calculations before we start work with the database. But first, let's try out grade to make sure that works too. No, there's something wrong somewhere. Okay, I think I know the error. So let's go back in here. It's actually, since it is something totally different, I think let's come in here, see. Okay, the widget is a text box, so let's call txt unit grades here. Let's say txt unit grades, and that will become there. Okay, let's get rid of this here. Get rid of the variable for it. Txt unit grades, we delete everything in there. Let's say unit grades. Make sure the name is right, else there will be an error again. Alright, let's run it again and see, just to make sure it works as we want. What is that? Grades is not. Alright, let's get rid of the grades inside here. Yeah, this has to go. Yep. There we go. Okay, enter whatever in there. Clear. Right. It's now cleared here. Okay, I think I know what the error might be, so let's get rid of that. We meant to enter self here. Let's say self dots. Okay, so let's try that again. Let's see, enter data in there. Alright, there we go, that's fine. Okay, so this is fine and this is fine. Now what is, we need to be able to work out the total. So whatever value we enter in here, we need to be able to add it all up and get the total right here. This 3. Okay, what shall we do? Add up all of this. Okay, let's declare another function here. Declare, let's say add unit result, unit score. Okay, add unit score. Right. Okay, right here I'm going to say add a local variable there. I'll call that unit1 equals, let's say float. And what are we floating? Let me float the first unit there, and that is mass right there. Okay, let's copy all of this so that I don't forget. Copy that, paste that here underneath. So the first unit is mass. Cut that off, paste that in here, and I'll say dot get. Right, that is the first unit. The next one is going to be unit 2. Unit number 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will be unit 2. And that will be, okay, let's copy all of this. This should be 2, no space. Paste that in there. right, and this will be English. Cut that off, paste that here. The next one is biology. Cut and paste, and that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right, computing. Okay, we have computing, we have chemistry, physics, admins, and business. Alright, we have all our units in place. I'm going to get rid of that. So the next local variable, let me call that, should I call it average? No, average is a variable for one of the components. So I'm just going to say unit average equals, add up all of this unit and divide it by 8. Unit 1 plus unit 2 plus unit 3, that should be 3, plus unit 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Close that, divide by 8. That will give us the average. Now to get the unit total equals all of this, add all of this together. There we go. Right, okay, we now enter or add up all of these into the total score and average. Total score dot set equals that, and average, let's grab average, there. In the case of average, I'm going to copy this and just paste it in there and just change it around. That is for the average. Now let's come in here and get unit average and paste it right there. Okay, let's run it and see what's going to happen. There, enter unit rates. Right, and just click on that, and there we go. That actually gives us the total and the average. Okay, let's use an if statement to determine the ranking for these various students. So I'm going to exit out. Let's see, we can clear, that's good. So let's exit, and right underneath here we need to use an if statement, but the problem is here, because I've used string, I'm going to get rid of all of this before I start. Let's just say int. We have 1, 2 to get rid of 1, and I'm going to repeat the same thing here. Right, get rid of this one as well. So right underneath here, let's use an if statement. If, let's say unit, this one, unit total, and I'm going to say greater than equals to 700. Enter column there. In that case, we want ranking, this very one here, we want it set to first class. Make that first class. Okay, and then let's say first class. Alright, the next one, or maybe we can even say first class honors, or whatever. First class is fine. Now the next one, I'm going to use if, else if, and in that case, if it is, let's say, about 600, that will be second class upper. I think it's upper, something like that. Now what about if it's less than that? And in this case, let's say is 500. That's greater than, and let's say if it's 500, it's going to be second class lower. Right. Supposing we have 400. If it's 400, that is going to be third class. Third class. Okay. And here, let's say we have less than and equals to 399, and that is going to be certificate of higher education. Yeah. And one more. Let's put a failure, and that is if is less than and equals to 200. Yeah, that's a fail. You might as well not attend the uni. Okay, let's try it out. Run the whole process and see how it's gonna look like. Okay, let's start by entering some big values there. Alright, try that out. First class. Okay, let's start reducing and see if we can get second class upper, second class lower, and let's reduce more. Yeah, see lower, third class. Still third class. Certificate of education, higher education, and let's say we have 0 in here and 0 here. Still the same. Yeah. Okay. So we have 0 there. I need a fill. Okay, there should be a fill there somewhere. So the fill is missing. Let's find out what's going on with the fill. Okay, less than, let's say less than 200. Okay, to get that fill, this one we have to be, yeah. So let's come in here and try that again. And let's say we change this to there. We have a fill. All right. Okay, let's revise the whole process. Let's say we have that in there. Right, first class. That's good. Now I need to be able to enter the student transcript there when I click on this. So I'm going to clear the whole system, exit out of it, and let's close this as well. Okay, now right underneath here, now we need the name of my, okay, it's called unit grade, so we'll copy that. I believe that is it, unit grades. So let's come right underneath here. Then after that we can start work with the database. Okay, let's start by entering as follows. So I'm going to say self.txt unit grades. Okay, self.txt unit grade, and that is going to be dot insert at the end of file. Okay, what I want you to insert will be student ID. Student ID column. Let's put those in quotes. Right. Get rid of this here. And my variable there is plus student ID dot get. I think it would be a good idea if I have a date. So let's declare a date first, then we'll continue. Okay, let's go up here and just add a date. Right, I'm going to copy that, and I'll call that date issued. Date issued. There. Back in here where we're taking care of the transcript. So this one is going to be date issued. So in the case of date issued, I'm going to say plus tab and plus date issued dot get plus, and we now want new line, and close that. Okay, but the date will not work because we need to import date library. So let's come in here and just import that. There we go. I've imported these two, date, time, and time. So let's come back in here, and up here let's enter date issued dot set time dot str. There we go. Time. Okay, enter a quote there. Pound sign. Date. Percent. And then and y. Close that. There. That is the date. Alright. Okay, so let's try this out and see if it's gonna work. So first thing first, I'm gonna need the student number, and let's enter some data in here. that. There we go, that's fine. Date issued and the date. Okay, that's good. Now I'm just going to copy this very one here, and I will use that for the rest. So I'm going to have to speed that up and get back to you guys shortly. Alright, this is how my receipt looks like. Not a receipt, it's going to be a transcript. That's how this transcript looks like now. Okay, or maybe we should just add something on top and just call that transcript. Let me come here, I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and let's just say transcript right here. Okay, yeah, something like that. Okay, let's run it and see how that's going to look like. Enter student's ID, ST, course code, student name, let's say is Paul Parker. Examination number. Alright, now enter score. Okay, there. Click on total or add new. There we go. Alright, we're gonna need one more there. In fact, two more. Okay then. Yeah, that's how it looks like, which is not bad. That's not bad. That is good. Now, all that is left for us to do is to now take care of, we need to take care of the database now. Okay, let's add two here, one here, maybe one more. Yeah, one here. Okay, let's take care of the database. I'm going to, let's save this first, and let's say new file, and this one, that's going to be my database. So in here I'm going to say import SQL. So that's going to be SQLite 3, and this is going to be my backend. Right, so first thing first, let's go to file and save this. And okay, I'm going to save it in there. So it's going to be students database record. Okay, students underscore database, student database record. Let me make it one word, student database record. Right, that's fine. I'm going to copy that. That will be, I will then have to import that. Okay, let's click on save. That's the name of the file, student database record. So we will now import student database record here. There. Okay. And what I would then do is, let me show you guys the folder anyway. That's my folder there, student database records. So let's come in here and run that, and hopefully that should generate the SQL files and so on that I need. Okay, since I've run that, let's come in here. You see it's generated what and what I need, although the database is not created yet. Alright, so let's minimize that. Okay, we're going to need the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are what I'm going to need. I need 5 functions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 2 are already working. So we need database function. Right. Let's come right down here. So I'm going to copy this and just so that I will know where my database function is. Okay, let's continue. But before then, you see this very first one, I'm going to call that Frontend. Right. Let's minimize this. And here, this is where my database is going to be. Okay, let's start by saying define student. Then we're going to call that student results. There. And the next thing is, let's define a variable, and this variable is going to be SQLite 3.connect. And now I'm going to have to give my database a name. So let's say student record. That's the name of my database. .db. Right, close the bracket. The name of the database will be student records. Okay, let's say con dot cursor. Okay, I want that to do something for me. Then let's say cursor dot execute, and we then use SQLS to create our table. That's using structured query language as create table if it does not exist there. So the table is going to be known as student record, this very one. Copy that and paste it there. So that's going to be the name of the table. Now let's say open a bracket and ID, that's going to be integer. Let's try that again. Integer will be the primary key, and comma. Now I want to use this here. You see all of these variables here. I want to use them for my table, for my column actually. So st, try that again, st the ID, student ID. So let's do one thing. I think we'll put a slash here and press enter so that we can see what I'm doing. That's for student ID, and the student ID is going to be text. The data type will be text. After that, I have first name. That'll be text as well. Surname, text. Then I have course code. Text. Then we have mass. Let's put a comma here. Next we have English. Comma, biology. Okay, what else we have? Computing. That'll be text. And after that I'm gonna go for chemistry. I don't need the examination question, examination number. Chemistry, text. Physics, text. Now add mass. So just for your information, those are the lines, those are meant to be the columns or the fields on the table that will be on the table itself. Now, comma, the next one is going to be business. Yeah, business. Right, and that will be text as well. Okay, close the bracket and close. Right, close this, close this. Okay, the next thing now is, let's come in here and say connect dot commit. Okay, commit to create the database. Then we also want to close that connect dot close. There we go. Right, so as you guys can see, there's no database in here, okay, apart from this file that was created for us. So let's say I run it now and see. Nothing is gonna happen because it's not officially ready yet. Okay, now what else do we need to do? Before we can do anything, I'm going to create another function. This other function will be the one that will insert the student details. Okay, declare add student record. And open that up. So 1. Then we have this as false. Get rid of this. Okay, what else do we need? In fact, I need all of those fields. I have up to here. I need these ones as well. Okay, let's grab this first. Paste. Get rid of the text. And there we go. Now, I need these two. Now let's get these ones. Right, paste that there. Comma, paste. Get rid of this text. Okay, we are almost there now. Right, close this. And the next thing is, let's say our connection SQL. Maybe copy all of this, come right here and just paste that. And we want it to execute as follows. Okay, copy this. Now, what would you like me to execute? Insert into student record as the name of my database. Student record, the following value, and in that value, let's say we have no comma. In total, how many do I have? Okay, I need to add all of this here. Okay, I'm going to just copy it all and paste. No, it's going to be 15. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, that should give us 15 there. Close the bracket and speech mark, comma, there. And now right here, I need this, all of this. What is 15? It's not 12. Copy all of this and paste it right in here. There we go. I need the following though. So let's just break that. But I need total and so on. Okay, come in here, comma, total, score. No, not in uppercase. Total, score, comma, average, comma, and ranking. There we go. And that is needed here as well. These three are needed. Copy them. And let's just space, break, come right there, paste. And I also need that here. Comma, paste. Then we need to add text. 1 text, 2 text, and 3 text. There we go. That's good. So I will now close this. Let's just copy this too and just close it. Right. Save. Okay, that's the add record. Okay, the next thing now is for me to be able to view my data. So what I'm going to do is I will copy this here. Maybe let's copy it up to execute here. And we'll just change things around. Come right down here. Okay, and I'm going to change the details there to view. Let's say view data. And right there I have the data I would like to view. That's the student database. Set the cursor, execute. To execute it, let's use an SQL statement. Let's say select all from student record database, this one. So I'm going to copy that. and just paste that right there. Okay, the other thing is, let's ask you to check all on all the rows. So the cursor, we have to do that, and there we go. So let's take care of this indentation. Okay, the other thing is we have to close it. Now let's close the connection. Come right down here and paste, and we want the row to return. There. Okay, one more thing. Let's see, let's just copy that. I'm going to use that to take care of my delete. Let's delete student records as well. I do have a button for delete. Paste, and let's take it down so that you guys can see it. File, save. As for delete, so let's call that delete record. Delete record. That's the table where we want to delete record from, and let the cursor search, and in here we just need to change this one to delete and get the spelling right. So delete from student record where. Okay, we need to enter where there, but this one's I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, and we want this to commit. Dot commit, and get rid of the rows. So this is going to be delete from student record, get rid of this, and we need to get rid of this database as well. Alright, that will be where the ID equals, let's use a question mark to denote what the ID is going to be, and that will be where the ID equals, let's say ID. There we go. Right. Okay, so I think there's an error here. That's it. I think that should have been F. Let's open it up, and there should be a bracket there. Okay, I'm just gonna save that. Let's go to the front end. This is the back end, like I said earlier on. Let's go to the front end. I'm just gonna run it and see, because I've already called this database. If there's any error, we will soon find out. So let's run it and see. Okay, there seems to be no error. All I just need to do is to attach those function to the buttons, but we still need to write 1 or 2 lines of codes on or at the front end. I'm now going to exit out, and let's go to let's exit out of there. Now I need to be able to call this very data, okay, this very one, because this that's where I'm going to have to insert the records. And one thing first, this should not be, let's correct that should be Y, biology. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here, write a function to call this, and to also call the view data. Okay, just these two first. This very function here, that's just to create the table. So this is for insert, and this is to view the data. Okay, let's come to the front end. I'm going to go right down, because I need to call this function, make reference to this function, and make reference to this function as well. So let's come right down here, this is where my function, database function, will be. And in there I'm going to enter as follows. So let's speed that up though. Alright, that is the function that I intend to call for the function that we call the add student record. Okay, and what is the adding? All of this information on the table. Okay, then the next one is to view the data. And right there, guys, this is the function that will view the data. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run the program and let's see how it's going to look like. Okay, right there. So let's enter some data in here. So this is the, let's say this is the student number, ID number, and the course code, and the name. Let's say the name is Kerry Stanmore, and examination number. There we go. And now let's enter the grades for mathematics, computing, English, biology, chemistry, physics, advanced, and business. There. So we click on add. Okay, now what we're missing is we're missing 1, 2, and 3. Right. And then let's see if we can display. Yes, we can display. So 2 things I need to take care of is this, get this result out, and also I think I like this result to fill this list box, so I have to find a way to add a column. Okay, to add a spacing on the column, or just find a way to get it spaced. Alright, let's see what we can do. I'm going to exit out though. Okay, a very easy way out would be to call this add unit score. And I'm going to paste add unit score right here. Okay, and this, the add data will actually be this very one now, instead of add unit score that we used to have here. So we now have that as add data, and here this is for the display and this is for the clear. Okay, those 3 are taken care of. I've called this command, call this, and call this. So all that is left for us to do is to take care of delete, search, and update. Okay, so let's run it. And we take it from there. There we go. Now add student number and the course code. Let's change the course code to something else, and the name. Let's say the name is Sammy Jones. Exam number, school, and there we go. Get rid of that. There. Now click on add. There we go. Sammy Jones is 2 lower. Okay, second class lower, and there we can see all the transcript of Sammy Jones right there. Right, so that is fine. So I just need to take care of 1, 2, and 3. Then we also look for a solution to add space to this result. Okay, close that. Now let's go into our back end. Okay, this is my back end. I already have the delete function, so have a good look at the delete function. Okay, there we go. So all I'm now going to do is call this very delete function on the front end, and there we go. That is it, called right there. Okay, so I'll now call this delete data, not date, delete data. Let's change that. I'm now going to call this with the button. Let's come to command button here, command button delete, and right there, comma, press enter, command equals delete. Okay, save that. Now we need to take care of search and that. Right, so let's go back to our front end, back end. That's the back end. Now scroll right down here and let's enter something for search. Alright guys, and here are the lines of code for this to search the data. I've actually speeded up, so have a good look at it. And now let me show you the lines of code for on the front end. This is the back end. Okay, this is the back end where the database, that's where the database is generated, and here this is the front end, and here are the lines of code for the search. So what I'm going to do now is to call this search database. I'm going to come right here, call that function inside my search here. Right, let's say comma, command equals search database. There we go. So we can close that as well. Then one more we need to update. Okay, let's come up here, and that's where the update is going to be. But first thing first, let's take care of the update here on the back end, right underneath here, and update data. Right, okay guys, for the search, that's taken care of, and that is for the update. Okay, so let's come in, let's go to our front end. That was the front end. I mean, this is the back end, so that is the search, and here that is the update data. So let's go to the front end. Right here we have the front end. Okay, so one other thing that we have on the front end is as follows. Let me show it to you guys. Because of time, it's going to almost 2 hours, which is getting to be too long. And right here, that is for the front end as well. So all of these data will be on this for the database, this for the list box. So when we click on the list box, we will be able to repopulate each of the text box with all of this information, apart from the examination number, which is not that important. Okay, that is for the list box. Have a good look at it, and that is on the front end. Okay, and here is the That's the update. Let's move this up a little bit. Okay, update, search, delete, all of these data function are all actually on the front end. And as you can see, every single functions here are also calling the function within the back end itself. Okay, if we look at our data is calling this function here. Okay, and display is calling function view data. Search. Okay, let's look at this. Delete is calling function delete record here. Then we have search is calling function search data. So what I'm going to do now is let me just run it and see how it looks like. Then we take it from there. Right, let's click on display. Okay, and let's scroll right down here. Click on any of these. If I click on them, I expect it to display something here for me. Nope, we have a problem. I think there might be an error. Let's see. All right, we don't have txt student ID, so let's come down here and see. Oh no, there's a lot of errors here. Can you see that? txt student ID, that ought to be self. Even this should be self. All of this should be self. Can you guys please correct that if you are following along? So there's a lot of self there to be included. Just to prove to you that's the problem. See, TSC computed or computing. Let's see. That will surely be the next error. Let's display and come right down here. Click on that. Okay, that is working. Now one is working. Let's see. Okay, first name. So first name does not have that. Let's come down. Yep, first name is next on the list. Then let's say we correct that of first name, and we run it again and see what's going to happen. That of first name is corrected. Let's see the next one, and let's click. All right, name is there. Let's see what's the next error here. Let's close this and start it again so that you guys can see it properly. Display and click on anything here. Yes, surname need to be corrected as well. So I'm going to correct all of those now that you guys understand what's going on. All I'm missing is the self because they are all in a class. So they ought to go through the class declaration. So I'm going to correct computing as well. And as soon as I finish with the correction or modification, then I'll get back to you guys. You see, it's coming up gradually. So let's speed up the whole process and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Okay, all the corrections are now in place, as you can see. Alright, so what is left for us to do now is let's try it out. I'm going to click on run. There we go. So first thing first, if you like, the choice is yours. Let's add some values in there. Let's say the name is, let's say, oh no, that's supposed to be student ID. That's the student ID there, and the course code is, let's choose something else. Okay, all that is working, and the name happened to be Louis Stonehead. All right, examination number, and here grades. Louis is an average student, so Okay then, and for that, and this, that is how weak Lewis is. All right, let's see Lewis grade. If we click on add, there we go. Look at that, that's Lewis grade there. And let's see Lewis ranking. What was his ranking? He has no ranking. How come? All right, Lewis has no ranking. Okay, supposing we increase this and see what's going to happen. He now has a ranking. That shouldn't be so. Okay, now let's click on display. There we go. So to prove that this is working, now let's come into this guy Larry, Grace Larry's. Okay, look at Grace Larry's there. Can you see her? So that means the system is now working. Okay, so that error has been taken care of. Okay, it's working as we want, but let's try out the search function. Let's assume let's clear it first. That's good. And let's assume here we want to search for, let's say, Paul, and then click on the search. There we go. You see all the information of Paul there. Okay, and this doesn't have student ID and so on, but we can always add a course code. Alright, that's the course code that should have been there, and examination number is not part of the database, so we can just make that up. Right, and unfortunately then we didn't have this. Okay, so let's see, is it possible for us to update? Okay, see, we have more or less updated Paul's details now. All right, that is fine. Okay, hopefully that should update clearly. So when we look at this Paul, let's see, it's too lower. Okay, then let's click on display and let's see, too low. There we go. We have 2 Pauls there with too lower. Okay, that means we should be able to delete that. And we only have 1 Paul there with 2. Now let's come down here. I just want to show you guys the database itself. We go to SQLite right here. That is the database, and let's go into my folder where my program is. That is my database. If I click drag and drop it there, that is my table. We can now minimize this. Okay, now let's go to browse data. Right in here are all the records. Okay, and that is Paul with the 2 lower right there. Okay, all of this information, okay, are all saved on this very SQLite database. Okay, and one other thing, guys, is if you want to become a member of the channel, all you need to do is to pay £4.99 to become a member, and we can always send you the lines of code for this very particular project for you to improve, modify, and do whatever you like with it. So guys, with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed. You all have a nice day now. Bye for now.